This is Saul. Colonel, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's the situation, Saul?
Call me Snake. The situation is grim. Somehow the governor of Damascus got word of our plan to kidnap the Christians. I barely got out of there alive. That's why I had to change my name.
To Snake? What kind of name is that? What have you been doing? Your mission is to destroy Christianity by any means necessary.
I understand, Colonel, but killing them just isn't working fast enough. They're multiplying like rabbits. I'm requesting clearance for an infiltration mission. If I can gain their trust, then I should be able to destroy them from within. All I have to do is teach them to remain virgins.
Good thinking. But do you really think Snake is a good name for you to try to infiltrate the church? From now on, you'll be known as Apostle Paul.
Fine, I just thought it would be cool if people called me Snake.
Snake, if you're going to hijack Christianity, you're going to need a security clearance with a seal of approval from James the Just. Head to Jerusalem and see if you can convince James to give you the seal.
But Colonel, everyone in Jerusalem hates my guts. They all know that I've been teaching the Christians to break the commandments. There's no way I can convince James.
Just as I expected. You'll have to stop at Ephesus on the way and persuade the Christians there to give you a donation of money to bring to Jerusalem. Use that money to bribe James into giving you the seal. It's your only hope, Snake. If you need to contact me by codec, the frequency is 140.85.
Got it. Okay, I'm ready to go.
The next day Paul went in to see James. Then they said to Paul, "You see how many thousands of Jews believe in Christ, and all of them are zealous for the law. But they are under the impression that you teach all the Jews who live among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, telling them not to circumcise their children or observe our customs. What then shall we do? They will certainly hear that you have arrived. Therefore do what we advise you. There are 4 men with us who've taken a vow. Take these men, purify yourself along with them and pay for their expenses so they can have their heads shaved. Then everyone will know that there is no truth to these rumors about you, but that you also live in obedience to the law."
Colonel, are you there? This is Snake.
Yes, Snake, this is the Colonel. What is it? Did you convince James?
It turns out our friend James is more clever than we thought. He wouldn't accept the bribe, but he ordered me to go up to the temple to give the money to the Nazarites. How should I proceed, Colonel?
Everything is riding on this, Snake. You must go up to the temple and do exactly as James instructed. If you can win James' trust, you are sure to complete the mission. But whatever you do, don't admit that you were the one who persecuted the Christians. If you do, you'll fall into Roman jurisdiction. Some of those men and women you beat to death were Roman citizens.
Got it. Okay, I'm ready to go.
So the next day Paul took the men and purified himself along with them. Then he entered the temple to give them notice of the date when their purification would be complete. Some Jews from Asia saw Paul at the temple and seized him, crying out, "Men of Israel, help us! This is the man who teaches everywhere against our people and against our law and against this place." The whole city was stirred up, and the people rushed together and seized Paul and dragged him out of the temple. While they were trying to kill him, the commander of the Roman regiment received a report that all Jerusalem was in turmoil. Immediately, he took some soldiers and ran down to the crowd and arrested Paul and ordered that he be bound in chains. Since the commander could not get at the truth because of the uproar, he ordered that Paul be brought into the barracks. As they were about to take Paul into the barracks, he asked the commander, "May I say something to you? I am a Jew from Tarsus. Now I beg you to allow me to speak to the people." Having received permission, Paul stood up and motioned to the crowd. A great hush came over the crowd and he addressed them in Hebrew.
Brothers, fathers, listen to my defense now before you. I am a Jew born in Tarsus. I was educated at the feet of Gamaliel in strict conformity to the law of our fathers. I am just as zealous for God as any of you here today. I persecuted this way even to the death, detaining both men and women and throwing them into prison, as the high priest and the whole council can testify about me. As I was on my way to Damascus to apprehend these people and bring them to Jerusalem to be punished, Jesus came to me in a vision and told me that I am the new apostle. Later, when I had returned to Jerusalem and was praying at the temple, I fell into a trance, and Jesus came to me again, saying, "Hurry, leave Jerusalem quickly, because the people here will not accept your testimony about me." Then I said, "Lord Jesus, they know very well that I'm the one who imprisoned and beat everyone who believed in you in one synagogue after another. And when the blood of your witness Stephen was shed, I stood there giving my approval and watching over the garments of those who killed him."
The crowd listened to Paul until he made this statement. Then they lifted up their voices in pain, crying out for their fallen brothers and sisters, shouting, "Rid the earth of him, he is not fit to live." As they were shouting and throwing off their cloaks and tossing dust into the air, writhing in pain for their loved ones, the commander ordered that Paul be brought to the barracks.
Snake, what's going on? Where are you?
"I'm in the barracks. I've been arrested by the Roman centurion."
Did you tell anybody that you were the guy persecuting the Christians?
"Well, yeah, but I only said it in Hebrew, so the Roman centurion couldn't understand what I was saying."
You idiot, Snake! I told you not to say anything about that. If they put you on trial at the Jewish Sanhedrin, that will be fine. Just make sure you don't lie under oath or do anything stupid. As long as you're in Jewish jurisdiction, your writ from Caiaphas will be enough to acquit you of all charges. But if you fall under Roman jurisdiction, the writ will not help you. If Caesar finds out you have a writ from the high priest to execute Roman citizens, it could start a war, Snake. Be very careful.
"Okay, I got it. I'm ready to go."
The next day, the commander, wanting to learn the real reason Paul was accused by the Jews, ordered the chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin to assemble. Then he brought Paul down and had him stand before them. Paul looked directly at the Sanhedrin and said,
"Brothers, I have conducted myself before God in all good conscience down to this day."
At this, the high priest Ananias ordered those standing near Paul to strike him on the mouth. Then Paul said to him,
"God will strike you, you whitewashed wall. You sit here to judge me according to the law, yet you yourself violate the law by commanding that I be struck."
But those standing nearby said, "How dare you insult the high priest of God?" Then Paul said,
"Brothers, I was not aware that he was the high priest."
Then Paul, knowing that some of them were Sadducees and some of them were Pharisees, called out to the Sanhedrin in a loud voice,
"Brothers, I am a Pharisee, son of a Pharisee. It is because of my hope in the resurrection of the dead that I'm on trial."
As soon as he had said this, a dispute broke out between the Pharisees and Sadducees. For the Sadducees say there is no resurrection of the dead, but the Pharisees say there is. A great clamor arose, and the dispute grew so violent that the commander was afraid they would tear Paul to pieces. He ordered the soldiers to go down and remove him by force and bring him into the barracks.
Snake, are you there? What's the situation?
"I'm at the barracks again. Don't worry though, I lied under oath and gave a false witness at court. I said the only reason I'm on trial was because I believed in the resurrection. And those stupid Sadducees fell for it. A big riot broke out, and the centurion was forced to protect me. There's a little lesson in misdirection for you."
You're such an idiot, Snake. I'm done with this mission. There's no way you're getting out of this. You're screwed.
"No, you're wrong, Colonel. I'll get out of this somehow. You'll see."
Whatever.
Paul remained in Roman custody as a prisoner since the day he spoke to the crowd in Hebrew. Since he was a Roman citizen and a member of the Herodian family, he was given special treatment, having 500 Roman soldiers escort him to Governor Felix in Caesarea. Felix could not find him innocent, so he left him to Festus. Festus could not find him innocent, so he left him to King Agrippa. King Agrippa wanted to find him innocent, but Paul had already appealed to Caesar, so to Caesar is where King Agrippa sent him. On the way, there he got shipwrecked, and some shamaness woman correctly read an omen that identified him as a murderer. Eventually, he made it to Rome, where he was placed under house arrest for 2 years to await his trial before Caesar. Caesar immediately delivered justice by finding him guilty of kidnapping, torture, and murder of Roman citizens who happened to call themselves Christian, and Paul was executed for his crimes.